few hours. That's all that's left. You grind daily, but your wealth? Flatline. No system. No strategy. Just survival. Tonight, that ends. Financial intelligence isn't luck. It's a learnable system. And Leadspiration is giving you the blueprint. 4 nations. 1 moment. 1 movement. Gold David, founder of Leadspiration. 8:15 p.m. Live on YouTube. Set your reminder. Lock in.
I believe we are getting ready for an exciting journey tonight. We'll try to be very fast with my presentation so that everyone can learn from the topic of today. I don't know, I actually have a slide. If I would have to send my slide to, let me forward my slide to Kenneth. Let me share my slide from here. Please check your DM. I just sent you my presentation slide. But if you're excited about being here tonight, can I just see your comments? Just let us know you're excited to be here. I can see your comments on the chat. If you're excited to be here, let us see your comments. Let us see your comments. Let us know those who are really excited to learn about our finances today. Let's see your comments. Let's see your comments. Let's see your comments. Tonight is going to be straight to the point. We will try to hit the nail on the head and see how much knowledge we can get from the session tonight. So we're talking about money today. We're talking about money. We're talking about how you can make money, how you can manage money, how you can be more financially intelligent. There was something that David Jr. said. I think it's something that common sense will teach us. If you have a basket, you know what a basket is. It has holes around it. It was made to carry objects, but not made to carry liquid. Because if you put liquid on or inside the basket, it would flow out and you will waste that liquid. But if you put liquid in the buckets, you can save that liquid and you can use that liquid. And many persons treat money, managing money and carrying money and using money like a basket. Whereas when they should use the bucket mindset, right? That's why many of us make money. Some on a daily basis, some probably on a monthly basis, but we don't know what to do with that money that we make. We don't know how to manage that money. We don't know how to multiply that money. We don't know how to make that money work for us. And that is the essence of having this session today. So, as many of us who are members of the Leadspiration community, and those who are joining us for the first time, we expect that you learn and know how to manage money. As an individual, as an organization, as a corporate group, you should know what to do with money, right? You should also know how to attract money. Money does not come just because you want money, because everybody wants money. Everybody in this world would appreciate an extra dollar, an extra naira. If you are there and I just say, send me your account number, I want to send you 5,000 naira or $100, you would really be excited. You would appreciate it. You may not jump everywhere, but at least you appreciate the fact that money is added, something is added to you, right? So it's a positive. Everybody wants to attract money, but not everybody knows how to. And that is why we would focus on that topic today. And trust me, it's not going to be a waste of time, because is one key and important part of our lives. Even some marriages are broken because of money, relationships, friendships broken because of money. People have died because of money. Some people have made money their God, whereas money is supposed to be their slaves, right? They're supposed to be a master of their money, but their money have become their masters. And that's because of lack of knowledge and lack of understanding about the subject of money. So, Caleb, I don't know if our slide is up, if you could share, because I'm actually using time to wait for you. I want others to see the slides as we are moving on in the session. Or maybe I would have to just go ahead without the slides while you share the slides with us in a later time. Okay, so let me get my slides here while I wait for them to open the slides. So okay, is having issues with his network. So I wish I could share my slide from here, but I'm not the host for the session today, so I can't really share my slide. I hope that they get their network right and then they can join us along the way. All right, so today we're talking about financial success and blueprints, how you can make money, how you can manage money, how you can multiply money, right? And it's a very popular subject. Everybody talks about it, in different circles. Everybody has something to say about money and how to manage money. But then we all know what money is. Money is what you get in exchange for value. So it could be a gift actually. But then usually money is what you use as a means of trade. It's used for exchange. You give it to get something. You get it to give something. All right. So for the majority of us who will be in this session, I believe we are based in Nigeria. I usually ask this question whenever I want to have a session on money. I ask, what monthly income do you think is comfortable for you to live on in Nigeria today? So I would like to ask that question on everybody, please. If you're there, put on the comment section, on the chat box, and Facebook, or wherever, YouTube. Let's know, what do you think is a comfortable monthly income that you can live on today in Nigeria, considering the current state of the country, right? The cost of things are going high. There's high rates of inflation, and then people are basically struggling to get by. Even those who are making 100K, 200K salaries on a monthly basis, now it doesn't seem okay anymore, right? So to you, from your point of view, from where you're at, what do you think is a good enough monthly income in Nigeria today? Let's know in the comment. I know that also varies because, but let me know from your point of view what it is, right? On the comment section. But that varies by location, because recently I was looking for a new apartment, and I was solving cost of rent in different regions, and I found out that Port Harcourt here where I stay, the rent is really on the high side, although not as compared to some parts of Lagos and some parts of Abuja. But then if you check places like Delta, Benin City, and some other places, rents, I was seeing some very good affordable rents, and I was like, wow, is this in the same Nigeria that we're living in? Because in Port Harcourt here, we're basically seeing 1 million, 2 million, 3 million on a yearly basis for rent. That's if you're staying in a 2-bedroom flat, 1 bedroom and above. So, what's from your own perspective? from your location, from your, where you're based, what's the amount that you think is good enough monthly income to live by? Deborah here said 700,000, which is not bad, looks good from her perspective. So she thinks for her a comfortable income will be 700,000. I'm seeing Emmanuel says for me as a single person based in Delta State, 250k is okay. But for a married person, that should be looking at 400k as a married couple. Okay, that's good. That's good. So it means that from there, you can have money to pay your bills, you can have money to save, you can have money to, make investment, because whatever money comes in, you're not just talking about money you spend on a monthly basis. I mean, money you can live by comfortably. What that means now is that for that money, you cover your bills for that month. From that money, you also cover your investments, you cover your savings, you cover your wants, right? The important expenses. So if that's the case, then I think I've gotten a good feedback from some of us. I'm still waiting for others, although you could send that and then we'll check it on later on, right? So, from my perspective, right, I won't give you a fixed amount. I won't give you a fixed amount and say this is what is supposed to be, right? Because people survive with less than certain amount of money. Some people survive. I mean, myself, I was making 100k. There was a time I was making 50k salary per month, sometimes 60k. There was a time I was making 100k salary per month. I was surviving, right? So it all depends on you and what you want. But if I now ask you, what do you project to make on a monthly basis? What do you project to make on a monthly basis? Right? Or what do you project that you can make on a monthly basis? Because if I say, what do you project to make? If they want to say a million naira, I want to say 5 million naira, 10 million naira, because everybody likes, everybody likes that big money. But then I would rather ask the question, how much do you think you can make currently on a monthly basis? Right? How much do you think on a peak? With what you know now, with what resources you have available to you, with your current network and all of that, what do you think you can make on a monthly basis? What do you believe you can make on a monthly basis based on your skill set? Because, like I said, money is what you get in exchange for value. So you cannot make more than what you can actually give out, right? And I want you to have that figure in your mind. Now, and if what that amount is maybe 500k, that's what you have decided, right? That's what you have decided. That's what you feel you can make. But then, if you want to increase that amount, you want to increase that value, it means that you have to improve on your value. You have to improve on what you can give out. You have to improve on your capacity to deliver, right? Because obviously, in whatever level you are at, there's somebody doing better than you. Whatever level you are at, there's someone also doing less than you. But then that does not mean that you settle for less, right? So in my slide, I said, I refuse to accept anything less in my finances. So you have to say that for yourself. Say it and mean it, that you refuse to accept anything less. If they say, I saw a statistic the other day that about how many percent of Nigerians, is it about 5% or 3% or so of Nigerians, only that amount of Nigerians earn above 300k per month as a monthly salary. And I was surprised. Are you serious? Out of 290 million people, only that few percentage, just about 3 to 5%, earn that amount of money per month. That means a lot of people in Nigeria actually below average pay grade, but then they are surviving. Actually, they're surviving, right? So, but then it doesn't mean that you have to settle for less. You have to push your boundaries. You have to push your boundaries. So, the first thing I would like to say when it comes to the matter and the subject of money is that money is mindset. I'm on my next slide now. Money is mindset. It all starts with your mind. What do you want to achieve It starts in the mind before it gets to your bank account. It starts in your mind before you see it. I normally recommend everybody to read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich. You can write it down somewhere, get it if you've not read it before. If you're ready before, go over it again. That book is powerful. It literally changed my life. What I do most times every year, I read that book. Beginning of every year. This year I did it, but last year, 3 years ago or so, I read that book just to refresh my mind. Because the more I think better, the more my life gets better, right? So if I can position my mind to believe that I can make $1 million a month, I can make $5 million a month, it means that yes, it's possible. Then I have to now start working towards it. And there's something about God and how nature works. Once you set your heart to something, it literally comes to pass. Whatever you set your heart to do, whatever you set your mind to, usually comes to pass. And I'm not just here to motivate you, I'm actually saying the true fact of life, because it's something I've experienced in my life. I may not share all my life experiences here on this live session, but there are things that I've seen, things that I've experienced, and it's all as a result of what my mindset. I refuse to settle for less. So, how do you set your mind to something? Let me use a very simple example. You leave your house, you say you are going somewhere. Where are you going to? You don't just leave your house and go somewhere blindly or without reason. It must start with a preconceived destination. So you already know that, okay, tomorrow morning is Sunday, I'm leaving my house, I'm going to church. So you know that you're leaving your house, you're going to church on a Sunday morning. So when you leave your house, you have that target of going to church. After church, I'm not coming back home or going somewhere else. That's basically what setting your mind to something is. So if you don't have a number for your money, we're talking about money now. If you don't have a number, you accept anything. And anything usually means not enough, because life does not give you what you wish for. It gives you what you work for. So you don't just wish for something and then it just comes to pass. You have to be able to work towards it. So you have to have the target and work towards that target. So if you mean that you just want anything, it means that what you will get will be less than enough. So you have to set your mind to something. Set your mind to something. So what do you want to set your mind to? For you to be wealthy means you need to have enough to take care of your basic needs and excess. Your basic needs and what? Excess. You don't need, I'm not saying you want to become the wealthiest man in the world. Once you have enough for yourself, and you also have enough excess to also give out, to invest, none of that, that's wealthy enough. Okay? But that target should be higher than the current state. Right? So you should dream for good numbers. And then you have to try for it. Financial freedom means meeting your needs, helping others, and investing without stress. If it stresses you, then we're not there yet. If it's stress, then we're not there yet. It means there's still work to be done. There's still more investment to make in yourself, so you can get better at this money thing. And then you can go out there and get more. The truth is that if you are someone who is intentional about growth, about your personal growth, in the long run, it will show in your life, it will show in your pocket, it will show in your bank account. If you are growing, it affects every aspect of your life, right? And when I say growing, I mean you're investing in yourself, you're reading books, you are networking, you are building your character, you know how to communicate properly, you know how to be industrious. That means you are growing. You know how to be responsible. You are learning responsibility. In fact, allow me to digress. Getting married is not just a cruise, the world. Everybody likes marriage, and so you want to get married. No, those who are intentional about marriage are those who, are willing to be groomed by it and willing to learn in the process. I'm talking about marriage because today is my 1 year traditional anniversary. Tomorrow is my wedding anniversary. Now, because this period I've been thinking quite a lot about marriage. Marriage makes you a better person. It teaches you responsibility. It teaches you, how to be a father, how to be a man, how to be a responsible woman, how to be a mother. Now, all of those things are phases in your life. And the people who do not, learn in that phase, they end up, becoming a problem and a menace to themselves. In the sense that you can get married today and then in the next 6 months, your young people say they want to divorce. They don't want to get married again. They don't care about the wife. They don't care about the husband. This thing will not work. It means that they were never ready to grow in that relationship. They should have gone in the first place, right? But then that institution is there to teach you some things, to make you learn, to make you grow, to make you get better, right? So I would say that to you now, right? That in your life, you should invest in your growth. And whenever you find yourself in a circumstance, in a situation, in an environment that is not normal, that is not your normal comfort zone, you should see it as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to grow and to improve yourself. Now, the last thing you do, you have to reject poverty thinking. Your brain starts hunting for opportunities the moment you declare what you deserve. Simple as that. Once you start declaring that this is what I know I'm worth, I'm worth more than what I am now. I am worth 100 million naira. I am worth 1 trillion naira. I am worth social amount. Once you start declaring it and you start owning it, you start rejecting poverty, and then you start looking for opportunities. Your body start looking for opportunities, and you start looking for ways to improve your finances so you can meet up that target you have set for yourself. Now, let's talk about wealth creation now. My next slide. The 3 P's of wealth creation. This is very simple, very proven engine for making money legitimately, right? No shortcuts, just straight up. And this is something I've practiced, this is something I've studied, this is something I've tried to understand, something I've used in my life over and over again. I can stay today and probably I may not have up to 100,000 naira in my account. And maybe the next 24 hours, the next 72 hours, I can have 1 million naira in my account. Literally because I understand this, right? Now, people. The 3 P's of wealth creation. Number 1 is people. Number 2 is product. Number 3 is what? Promotion. Number 1 is people. Number 2 is product. Number 3 is what? Promotion. These are the 3 layers, 3 P's of wealth promotion, of wealth creation. And then I have a formula for this. People plus product plus promotion equals to what? Profit. 3 P's equals to the 1 big P. As people plus product plus promotion equals what? Profit. So what that means is that people are the ones that will give you what? Money. Without people, there is no money. Product is what you offer as a value, as a product, as a service, as a skill, but something that is valuable that people will give you money for, right? So that's product. Then 3 is promotion. Promotion is the ability to be seen, because you can have something and people don't know that you have something. That is why social media is powerful now, because everybody's on social media. And because of the fact that everybody's on social media, it means that the person who has social media, who has views on social media, who has the eyes of people on social media, will automatically end up having the money of those people on social media. Aside from social media, if you see the market today, there are those who are not on social media. There are companies who are not on social media. They are there, but their sales did not start from social media. You have people like Dangote Group. Their products are everywhere. They know how to penetrate the market. If you go to almost every state, you see Dangote trucks, you see Dangote storerooms, you see Dangote warehouses, you see their cement stores. They know how to penetrate, they know how to enter the market so that everybody sees them and people buy from them. So the 3 P's in practice, number 1, this is my next slide now, people. So you ask, What problem do people around me have? In case you don't know how to make money and you want to start making money from today, this is just my simple formula for you. Start with asking yourself the question, what do people around me need? What do they need? What problem do they have that they want to solve that you yourself can solve? And trust me, or take note, solving that problem does not mean that you have to go and create a solution for that problem. Solving that problem means that you can connect them with the solution to that problem. So it means that you can be the middle line. For example, we all know, I believe, we all know the saga online on social media. People who come online and then they import goods from China. I can give some examples, maybe like VDM. Example, maybe we have others like this lady, what's her name? There are those, okay, let me use the popular Shido Birim, all right, the owner of Palmtech Group. They import cars from China and then import parts also. They don't produce these cars, they don't have this product. And although we also advise people to go into manufacturing, which I believe is also one of the next phase of Africa's monetary power, because we cannot keep importing and we are consumers, we're not producers. It becomes a problem, right? So you don't have to always be the one producing this. Someone can have the product and you're the one being the middleman to give that product to the right person who needs it. Simple as that. You make your commissions, you make your profit, and then you move on. But then you must find out what is the problem that people have. What is the problem that people have? The bigger the problem you solve, the more the money you can make. The bigger the problem you solve, the more the money you can make. I'm on my next slide for the person controlling the slide, so please take note. The bigger the problem you solve, the more the money you can make. And then the next thing now is product. Now, it can be physical, it can be digital, it can be a service, it can be a skill, but there should be a product. Personally, I have a skill, and basically it's a tech skill, right? I build websites, I do graphic designs, I do product designs, I do printing, I do publishing, right? All of those things are skills. They are value that I give out to my clients. And people reach out to me back to back, they want this, they want that, and all of that. And we handle that problem for them. Now, there are people who have bigger challenges. In this my niche, right? And the bigger the product I sell to them, or the bigger the impact of that product to them, the more you can charge, the more profit you can make. The bigger the impact of your product to your clients, the bigger the profit you can make. So, like I said, you don't have to create all the products that you sell. For now, so the work we do, we use AI for them. We don't have to be the one to start scratching our head to do all of the work. Sometimes we just use AI to make our work easier. And you too can, especially if you're in the digital industry, digital niche, you can leverage AI as an added advantage, right? To create products, you can create books with AI. The slide I'm using today to make my presentation, I did it in under 5 minutes using AI, right? Now, the content is mine, the content is from me, I created the content, but then I did not have time to start preparing slide. I just gave it to AI and gave me the slide, and I'm using it for my presentation today. If I didn't say it's on you would not know. So you should also learn how to leverage AI for your own good, for your business. You can create a digital product, AI can help you. You have the content, but then you don't have the skill set to do that product. You can use AI for it, right? Then the next thing now is what? Promotion. Silence kills business. Silence what? Kills business. So you must learn how to use all the platforms at your advantage, at your disposal rather, to your advantage. You have to go out there, go on the streets of social media, go on the streets of wherever you know you need to sell, and go and sell. Businesses that invest in marketing are the most successful businesses. I've not seen a business that succeeds without marketing. You can mark my word, there's no business at all in this world that succeeds without marketing. Somebody is sharing, somebody is talking about it. Sometimes they themselves are talking about it. They are the ones going out there to make sure that people see, people hear them, people know about them. Right? So there's no business that succeeds without what? Marketing. So ensure to do your marketing. One last thing I would say here is know your source. I have found that, you can take this from me anywhere. I have found that every successful business, right, especially those in the service industry, they have their source. They have their major sources. What do I mean by major sources? They have that major client that gives them, contracts, or those major clients that give them contracts. For example, Dangote can be selling bags of cement to everybody in Nigeria. Yes, that's true. But then they have a particular, there's a rule in business: 20% of your customers give you 80% of your profit. And it's true for my business. You may not have found that, but if you sit down now and do your analysis, you'll find out that there's a certain group of people, or group of companies, or group of clients that give you the major chunk of your profit every year. A small group. There are people who can come today and buy and go, come tomorrow and buy, but there are some who buy in bulk. There are some who order in bulk. There are some who, if you don't have that yet, then your business will be shaken. I found that businesses that succeed, they are those that know their source. I call these people their source. That's my own way of calling it. You can call it whatever you want, but they know their source. They know that these people are our biggest clients, and we cannot do so much without them. We have to service them. So after they've done their marketing, they've done everything, they build a relationship with these people. For some businesses, it is federal government. The government is their major source. The government gives them contract. One contract every year or two contracts every year can be their major source of money for that year. There are many examples of this. I don't have to start saying them. So you must know your source. If you don't have one yet, you need to find a way to enter into a circle where there's money, where you can always serve. And then they keep giving you that money, keep giving you that contract, keep giving you that order that puts money into your business. So you must know your source. Very key. This is not my slide, so it's for those who follow live. So you must know, and it's important. Very, very important. Very, very, very what? Important. Know your source. You don't have those sources yet. Find them and service them. Build a relationship with them. Ensure that they are always, around, because they will make you most of your profit as a business, right? Even as an individual who is building a business. Now, let's quickly go into money management too. Money management rules. So you've known your source, you know your service, you know your skill, you know what you are selling. You already have those things that you can give out and make money in return. You've already started marketing, so they're making you some money, right? So how do you manage the money that comes in, right? How do you manage the money that comes in? Money management rules? Basically, I have just 4, which I will state here. Number 1, you have to budget your money. 50% has to go to your needs. If it's a business, your business has needs. Your business has needs. In fact, one thing I found that in companies, sometimes your major needs may be, the money your need may be power. Companies spend so much on power. Some companies can run diesel 24/7 every single day of the year. They are running generators 24/7. You know how much it costs to buy diesel? 1 liter. And then they run it on generators every single hour of the day because they cannot afford to be down on power supply. That's a need, because if power goes out, their clients will suffer, their work will suffer. So that's a need. So you have to budget your expenses on your needs first. So for you as a human being, what are your needs? Without food, basically, you cannot continue. You will be sluggish, you will not be active. So that's the need. You have to invest. You have to budget for that. Then also budget for your want. Personally, I would even say it depends on the phase of your life. You can switch this wants and savings. You can put your wants on 10%. Wants are those things that are not so you need them, but you can do without them. For example, now let's say a want could be a car. You want to get a car. For some people it's a need, for some people it's a want. Because why do you need a car when you don't go to see clients with your car, you don't go to supply with your car? Your car is just there as a liability. So it's a want for those persons, but then it takes money from them. It takes money from them, whereas they can just use a little bit of that money for maybe shared ride, using boat and all of that. They can save more. So it depends on the phase of your life. Sometimes your wants can be 10%, sometimes your wants can be 20%, and then your savings can now be 30, 40%. But then this is just a general rule for your money that comes. So you have to keep 20% into savings and investment, right? Into savings and investment. Now, what do you invest in? Obviously, you should know. You can invest in stocks, you can invest in real estate, you can invest in other businesses. Just for example, now Dangote of Nigeria, I'm very happy about how he's going as a businessman, because he has done businesses in different industries and different fields, and he keeps investing in new businesses. And that's something I would like you to know. As a business-minded individual, you cannot rely on only one source. This one is not your client, this one is your services. You cannot rely on only one source. Personally, as I'm here, I work in a company, right? So I'm a staff of a company, but I have my own company. I have my own organization. I have other sources. I will keep doing more, right? That's because you cannot rely on only one source. If you want to expand, if you want to excel, you want to be better, you want to do more, you cannot rely on only one source of income. You have to expand. That is why I think in scriptures, Jabez asked God to enlarge his coast. So some of you may not have known, you don't know why he's asking. It's because you cannot settle for that one. You need enlargement of your coast. So expand your reach. Go out there, you are already doing well in this one. Why waste time? Now invest in the next one. Because trust me, the market is competitive. The market is very competitive. So if you're investing here and you settle for where you are, in the shortest possible time, somebody else will come and take over that market, or another group will just come and take over that market. And when they come and take over that market, even though you were there first, you start sharing the profit with all of them. And when you start sharing the profit with all of them, just imagine this AI market now, the AI industry. Starting with just ChatGPT. That was how it started. That was the first one that we all know. That came out and became everywhere. But then all of a sudden now we're hearing of Gemini AI, we're hearing of Meta AI, we're hearing of Cloud AI, we're hearing of lots of AI, DeepSeek. Now that market that was initially ChatGPT is now shared. The profit is now shared. So they have to keep investing in new technologies for them to stand out. So you cannot just settle for one in investment, in business, or what have you. Expand your reach. Okay? Expand your reach. Right? So you save and invest. After you budget, the next thing you do is what? You save and invest. So as the money is coming in, you're not just eating it all, getting fat. You have to invest it. Invest it in yourself first, very important, in your knowledge, in what you know, because what you know will determine where you will go, how far you go. So invest in yourself. Invest in business, invest in stocks, invest in real estate, invest in other businesses, and just like that. Next thing I would say, track everything. Know your numbers. Millionaires know their numbers. Businessmen know their numbers. They know their numbers from A to Z. They know their numbers. Then Dangote will come and be telling you so and so. He knows how much his business is making. He knows this, how much price of this is in the market. They know their numbers, because business is a numbers game. So you are a businesswoman, you have stock. You don't know how many items you have in stock. You don't know how many you have delivered. It means that you cannot track your progress. So you have to be able to track your progress, track everything about your business. To the minutest of things, track it. And down to your personal life, track your expenses. Know where your money is going to, know what is the major thing that's taking your money. See if you have to cut it down and then invest more. So know your numbers, track everything, very important, very key. Avoid bad debts. Only borrow for things that appreciate in value. Don't borrow for things that depreciate in value. Don't borrow just to, service your lifestyle. Borrow only for a good cause. I'm saying borrow because there are sometimes as a businessman you have to borrow. If you want to expand, sometimes you need other people's money. But if at all you are doing all of that, it should be for a good cause, not to flaunt a lifestyle that you probably are not meant to live, that will sink you, right? So if you are borrow for a good cause. Now, we'll move on because of time. When you invest, it is what you invest in your future that will make you rich over time. It's not what you spend now. Take note of that. Now, I'm moving on to my next slide. Build wealth legitimately. How do you build wealth legitimately? I've been told now that time is almost up, so I have to be fast to see how I can wrap up in no time. How do you build wealth legitimately as an individual, right? How do you do that? Number one, you have to learn high income skills. Learn high income skills. High income skills like AI, high income skills like tech skills, cybersecurity, skills like data analysis, skills like marketing. Marketing is a high income skill, in case you don't know, because without marketing, you can't make money. In fact, for you to even get a job, for those of us who want to get a job, you have to be able to sell yourself very well for you to be hired. So you need to learn marketing, and part of marketing is communication, writing. Some of us don't know how to write CVs. How do you want to, position yourself for success, for people to invest in you, for people to give you their money when you can't present yourself in the light of who you are, in the light of someone that they can trust with their money? So you need to also learn how to write, learn how to communicate. Very important, very key. The next thing is build multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. I normally recommend you should have at least 3 to 4 sources of income. So when one slows down, the other one can carry you, right? Currently, I have more than one source of income. In my business, I have more than 3 sources of income. That's in my business alone. Personally, I have more than 3 sources of income. Then I also recommend that you do the same. Particularly if you're living in Nigeria, where we are today, your salary will not be enough to carry you through. Unless maybe you're making a good amount of money in millions and not in naira, not in hundreds of thousands. If you're making a good amount of money in millions as salary, then it's okay. You can use that, invest in businesses so that when you retire, you have a lot of things going on. But then, if that is not your case, then you need to have multiple streams of income. And trust me, even if you are making a salary of millions now, you have to also have a business on the side so that you can protect your life in case of anything, because the future is unforeseeable. You cannot know, you cannot tell the future. So now that it's there, you have to make hay while the sun shines, and then ensure that money that comes in is put to good use. Now, next thing you should learn is how to network strategically, right? Because like I said, your money is with people. There's a popular quote, which is not so popular, but to me it's very popular because the first day I heard it, it stuck to my brain. And it says, rich people, rich people. Rich people, R-I-C-H, people, R-E-A-C-H, rich people. So rich people, they are always reaching out to people. They are always networking. Why do you think they find themselves in conferences? Why do you think they're planning to go and see the governor? They're planning to go and see the president. They're planning to go and have a conference meeting. They're traveling abroad. See someone like Tony Elumelu today. He was appointed the new chairman of CEPLAT just last week. And then, or this week, is now like the chairman of 4 different companies, right? UBA Group, Hez Holdings, Transcorp, and then now CEPLAT. How does he do it? He's networking. He's reaching out to other people. He's seeing where the money is, and he's going there. So you have to learn how to network. See Femi Otedola, the man that wrote the book Making It Big. Now, he is a very good friend of Dangote, and he has sold his company, which he had before, Geregu Power, to invest in Dangote refineries. Imagine that. Imagine that. So for him to do that, what that means is that he knows how to network. They know how to network. So if the rich people are networking, why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? The next thing I would now say is to invest in yourself, because you cannot network with nothing. You have to have something that you will give in exchange when you're networking. So invest in yourself, invest in knowledge, invest in your capacity, invest in your capital, invest in yourself, your outlook. There's the way you present yourself, people will not value you. Whereas there's the way you present yourself, people will want to run, they want to be everywhere around you. So invest in yourself. Very important. Now, a principle, what? Remembering before we wrap up. Normalize what? Selling. If there's nothing you will take out from this session tonight, take this home. Proverbs 11 verse 26 from the Bible. It says, blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. But then, he that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him. But blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. What the Bible is saying there is, if you refuse to sell, you have something, you have grain, you have corn, you have something of value, but then you refuse to sell it. The Bible says the people will curse you. They will curse you. They will curse you because you have refused to what? To sell. They will curse you because you have refused to give them that thing that they need. But when you decide to sell that value you have, you decide to sell it to them, they will bless you. They will pray for you. They keep telling God will bless you. Imagine someone comes, for example, now we are suffering lights, power supply, and it's a very bad thing to say that a country like Nigeria, we cannot have good power supply in this nation. We are suffering from power supply, poor power delivery, and then somebody comes up with a solution like solar power, and then that solar power is solving your problems in your house. You don't know that to think of NEPA light and all of that. What that means is that you will be happy with that solution, and because you're happy with that solution, you will bless the person, right? So the person has solved the problem, you are happy, you bless them, and then as you're blessing them, they keep making more, they keep compounding more, they keep making more profit because You bless them, you now go and tell other people that this person solved my problem, this person did this. More people will come to them and bless them. It's as simple as that. Okay? So that's what I would say. So ensure you normalize the act of selling. There's nothing too small, there's nothing too big to sell. You can sell stocks of 10 million. You can sell stocks of what? 10,000, even 1,000. Some businesses, see that they sell salt. You can sell salt of 1,000, you can sell salt of 10 million. It depends. Just ensure that you are what you're selling. And the more you sell, the more profit you make. So finally, in 5 steps, number 1, summarize everything I've said. Change your mindset. That's the first thing I said. Number 2, find problems and solve them. Number 3, promote consistently. Number 4, manage what comes in. Number 5, repeat and scale. So as you repeat what you've learned, you end up doing better and better in your finances. So this will come to the end of my presentation. I believe we may have 1 or 2 room for questions and answers before we wrap up. Let me hand over to my moderator for the night to take it up from here. But if you got value while we're waiting for moderator tonight, you can indicate by stating that in the chat box that you got value. Thank you so much.